Hey everyone, it's me, Wig Cap Makeup by Namaisa. Hey everyone, it's me Namaisa and I'm back with another video. This will be my first Halloween tutorial of 2018. I've done a couple FX looks already this year, also for the face awards and stuff, but this look is specifically made for Halloween. So I guess it's just an FX tutorial titled Halloween. So what I usually do with Halloween is that I start off with kind of a simple look and then kind of finish with a more elaborate or bigger FX makeup look. So for my first tutorial, I decided to do a more traditional, or should I say classic look. Red Riding Hood is one of those costumes you always see on Halloween. I am going to use a prosthetic, but it is an affordable prosthetic, and it's this one right here. Now it doesn't look like much like this, but this is a silicone prosthetic created by Z Brothers FX. It's a company based in the UK. This particular prosthetic was actually created for me because I requested it last year, and I'm not sure if it's still on the website. If it is, I will leave a direct link below in the information box, and if not, I'll still leave a link to their website below in the information box because they have really cool prosthetics on their website still, you know, like zombies and wounds and all that stuff, and at a very affordable price. I don't want to go full on glam. I want to look innocent, sweet, and fresh and cute-ish. And then on this side, obviously, it's going to be FX and creepy and gory. If that is something you want to use as inspiration for your Halloween costume, then you know what you gotta do. So I'm already wearing a wig cap because I'm going to be wearing a wig for this look. By any means, if you have a fro like me, or just whatever type of hair you have, you don't have to wear a wig. Just keep your natural hair out and you're good to go. But for me, I just wanted to wear a wig. So what I'm going to use for my brow is the Benefit Ka-Brow in number 6. But I'm not going to create a really thick and arched and sculpted brow. That's not what I'm going for with this look. By any means, again, if you want to do that, go right ahead. Now I'm just taking a spoolie to kind of brush my hairs, or my brow hairs, in the right direction, the way they're growing. My brows naturally don't have a high arch. They're really just flat brows. It is what it is. It's missing some hair. It's missing some hair, and the same was for this. All I did was just fill it in. So next up, I'm going to conceal my blemishes, and what I'm using for that is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium, or Deep. Yeah, Deep. All I'm doing is taking the wand and applying that on the areas I feel need to be concealed. A little bit over here. Now I don't know if you can see it, but my skin already looks a lot calmer, and at the same time it's not completely covered in foundation. It just looks calm, natural, still some, you know, discoloration shining through, just natural. It's the first time I can actually say that about my foundation slash concealer routine. And because I have oily skin, I am still going to set the concealer with some setting powder. So to set my face, I'm going to use this Catrice Banana Setting Powder. This product has a very long name, but it has a sticker that says banana powder, so that's what I'm gonna call it, okay? And with that same damp beauty blender, I'm going to set it underneath my eye a little bit. I know it looks like a lot, but don't worry about it. I'm going to set the under eye area, and also setting the other areas where I applied that concealer. I'm going to let this set for like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and wipe off the excess with a large powder brush. So before I do anything to the eye area, or eyes actually, I'm going to contour my face just a tiny bit. And I'm going to use the NYX Cosmetics 3 Steps to Sculpt Deep Trio. And of course, I'm using that shade right there. And with this NYX Dense fan brush, actually, I'm going to contour my face. Just to give myself a little bit of dimension. You know, trust me, the women and men in movies are not on screen barefaced unless, you know, the scene calls for it, but they all wear a little bit of makeup, a little bit of bronzer, you know, so I figured I could do that as well. I'm going to take this It's Your Face Cosmetics blush. Let me see what it's called. Nectar. And it's a baked blush. And I'm going to apply that on the apple of my cheek just a little bit to give myself a little bit of a rosy cheek, you know. It's cold outside. Red Riding Hood. She's a little flustered because she may see the big bad wolf. He might be handsome. You get the idea. And apply that on the apple of my cheek. Just a little bit on my nose. And some of you don't like this actually because it makes you look like you have a runny nose. And that's exactly what I'm going for. Okay, so now I'm going to start with my eyes. First, I'm going to take a little bit of my Urban Decay Original Primer Potion and apply that on my eye area, also over here. And then just with my finger, I'm going to blend it out. For my eyes, I'm going to use the NYX Cosmetics Grind Palette. It's of their limited edition Machinist collection. So first, I'm going to mix this shade right here with a little bit of this shade right over there. So I'm just going to mix them together and apply it in my crease. I'm also going to apply it a little bit underneath my lower lash line. To frame my eyes a little bit more, or to give my eyes a little bit more dimension, I'm going to use this shade right here with that same fluffy brush by Bdellium Tools. And I'm going to apply that on the outer corner or corners of my eye. Softly blend that halfway onto my lid as well. I swear, this is one of those looks where it's like, oh, it looks a complete mess during the application, and then when it's finished, you're like, oh, I get what she's doing. As you can see, I'm also kind of applying that on the outer part underneath my lower lash line. So connecting it with the top. Also, let me know if you like tutorials like this better. I hope it kind of gives you a casual feeling, like you're sitting right next to me and we're just talking and, you know, just whatever. Because I like talking like this. The videos do become longer, but it feels more personal to me. You know, I'm gonna take my ring finger and take this shade right here. So I'm just gonna softly swipe this onto my lid. Now I'm gonna take this shade right here again, and this time I'm using a very tiny eyeliner brush by Bdellium Tools and actually use it as an eyeliner. So the eyes are almost done. As you can see, I'm wearing some contact lenses. These were provided by famfangs.com. I decided to put these lighter contacts in because they give this really innocent and doe eye effect. So my eyes appear a little bigger and brighter. Now I'm quickly going to apply some false lashes, and then I'm going to move on with the rest of the look. Now I'm going to use this Skin Illustrator Alcohol Activated Makeup Palette. It's the Lost palette, as you can see. Now you can either use 99% isopropyl alcohol, or you can use the Skin Illustrator Activator. Any less percentage of alcohol will not work, water doesn't work. Like I said, either the activator or the 99% isopropyl alcohol. Now if you don't have anything like this, you can of course also use either face paint or foundation, whatever you find is easier to use or more affordable. I, on the other hand, like to use this especially when I know that I'm gonna be sweaty, that I know I'm gonna be in a very moist, I know some of you hate that word, but a very moist environment, because this does not budge until you take it off. What I'm going to do is actually use this shade right here, and I'm going to speckle that on my skin with this spatter brush by Delium Tools, and I'm going to create faux freckles. I do have a separate video actually on how I do that, and in that video I use regular old face paint. So I'm mostly going to apply it near the nose area, on my forehead, and on my chin, and a little bit in my neck. Okay, so this side of the face is done for now. I'm going to leave my lips for what it is. I'll do something to my lips a little later. Now it's time to apply the prosthetic. So the prosthetic goes on like this, over the eyebrow, right here. To make the prosthetic adhere to my skin, I'm going to use this baby right here, Prosthetic adhesive or Prosthetic. When is someone going to help me with the pronunciation of this adhesive? Anyway, I'm going to apply a light layer to my skin and a light layer to the back of the prosthetic, and then I'm going to press that down firmly, so the prosthetic, onto my skin. I'm going to take a little bit more adhesive and go underneath the edges and secure those. Make sure that there are no air bubbles between your skin and the actual prosthetic, because once you move your face or any other part that you put a prosthetic on, it will look weird. After I've done that, I'm taking another Q-tip and a little bit of 99% isopropyl alcohol and dissolve the edges, taking away the flashing of the prosthetic. Okay, so here we are. The prosthetic is applied and ready to be painted. So I'm first going to do the skin, and then I'm going to do the slashes in the face. Now, usually for silicone prosthetics, I would suggest you use alcohol activated makeup color palettes to make sure that, you know, the paint sticks and everything is good to go. But because I'm going to take this off after I've done my video and my photos, I'm first going to use paint sticks. Now, I do not recommend using these on a night out, because on top of silicone prosthetics usually slip and slide a lot, especially after wearing it for a long time. But if you have no other choice, you can take a little bit and then dilute it with 99% isopropyl alcohol. It's not going to be the same as this, but it does give you a little bit of an option or an alternative. So I'm first going to go in with this Krylon TV paint stick in the shade Chinese, and I'm going to apply that on the skin area only and not in the lacerations or slashes. Now, of that same Skin Illustrator Lost palette I used before, I'm going to use this shade right here and spackle that all over the prosthetic. Once I've done that, I'm making a mixture of this shade and this shade, and I'm spackling that over the prosthetic as well to create some more flesh-like, you know, like not so dead looking skin. So I'm just gonna go back and forth between those colors until I'm satisfied with what it looks like. Now I'm going to use the Lost palette again, only this time I'm using that color right there, and I actually mixed it a little bit with the Dead Flesh tone, and I'm applying that in the wounds. The color that I was going for actually resembles rare meat a little bit. Now I'm going to use the Skin Illustrator V's Pirate Palette number 3, and I'm making a mixture of all 3 shades you see right there, and I'm only going to apply that on the deepest areas of the wounds. I'm doing this to create more depth and therefore more realism. The deeper the wound, the more dark and opaque the blood is. Now of the same palette, I'm mixing that shade and that shade over there, and I'm only applying that on the fatty tissue that Dean sculpted in the prosthetic. And remember, if you need reference photos, go on Google, but be prepared because it's definitely not easy to look at. Now I'm quickly painting on some faux freckles to match the left side of my face to the right side of my face. It's the exact same technique as I did before, only this time I'm applying it on the left side of my face. Okay, let's continue. I'm sorry for the quick voiceover. So now I'm going to use this palette again. It's the V's Pirate Palette number 3, again by Skin Illustrator. But I'm going to use a mixture of all of these right here and adding a little bit of black. And I'm going to create some blood drips and blood spatter because, yeah, I like that. I want to add it to the look, so let's go! Now I'm going to take this fluffy brush and actually flick it. This way the blood spatter is going to look a lot more organic / real. Don't overwhelm the wounds with blood because you think, oh, the more blood, the creepier, the better. No, actually the less blood, the better. In some cases. Otherwise you're covering up all that paint work, that detail work, and that just makes it look way less realistic. I also decided to spatter a little bit of blood spattering on this side of the face. Otherwise, it looks just way too one-sided in my opinion. So I'm going to balance the look out by spattering some blood here. Now, to make the prosthetic shine a little bit more and to give the effect that some of the wounds are still a little like, you know, juicy and nasty, I'm going to use this product called Extremely Wet. It's by Makeup Online. So what I'm doing is actually dipping in with my ring finger and just apply it a little bit on the wound. And I'm sure you're like, but I don't see a difference. Well, trust me, in photos and in person, just on certain spots that I want to give the appearance that is a little bit more shiny. So I'm going to use this NYX Cosmetics Shimmer Down Lip Veil, actually, in the shade Plummin'. And I'm going to take a little bit and apply that on the center of my lips first. Now, before I finish up and just, you know, look at my makeup up close, for the brow, because I think I did not get everything on camera, I have this gut feeling. So what I did is actually create a brow, or, you know, a matching brow, with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Ebony. Once I had the general shape down, I used the NYX Epic Ink Liner Pen gently to create some brow strokes. So really tiny strokes, you can't even see it. And then, because I wasn't satisfied with it, I wanted the actual texture of hair, of brow hairs. You can't see it, that's how thin it is, but I'm actually holding a little clump of hair of a wig of mine that actually has the same hair color as my own hair. So I took some adhesive, so Prosthetic. I applied that on the brow and then waited for it to get tacky, and then I took tiny pieces of hair, like tiny sections, and laid that over the brow, so it kind of gives me that, you know, brow texture, you know, brow hair effect. So now I'm going to shut off the camera, then I'm going to put on my wig and, you know, do the rest, and I'll be right back. So that was it for the entire look. I really hope you enjoyed it. I decided to still kind of keep the eye makeup because I was thinking that maybe I wanted to smear the eye makeup a little bit more to make it look a little bit more realistic. Red Riding Hood got attacked in the forest, but her eye makeup is still fly, like. But anyway, you know, like I said, I wanted to make a mix of beauty and effects for my first tutorial. Now I do want to add, as you have seen before I finished up the look, that my lips have changed a little bit. Well, that's because I decided to add a tiny bit of Sugarpill's Nurse Liquid Lipstick. So I applied it on the center of my lips and then I smudged it out with my ring finger and blended it into my lips just for a pop of color and to make it match to the rest of my clothing. If you want to follow me on my social media pages, then all you have to do is type in MakeupByNamaisa on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click on the notification bell so you know whenever I'm uploading a new video. Thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video. Bye!